Welcome to this platform. Let us revise the 2024 School Certificate Biology Paper 2. This is the paper that was written on 5th November 2024. And of course, it was simple. So let us have a look at the question that came. And of course, before you start writing, please, it's very important that you read instructions. But that is something that we are going to handle as we go on. So here is the first question that came. And I should mention that in paper 2, biology, there are sections. There's section A, where you answer the questions in the space provided, and also section B, where you get to write essay questions. So we are going to cover it in parts. We are going to start with section A, and afterward we are going to have a part 2 for section B. All the questions, we are going to answer them. So let us have a look at maybe just instructions also. So this section, 44 marks, you earn 44 marks if you answer all the questions correctly. And of course, like I said, you need to write in the spaces provided. And here is the first question. Figure 1 shows an experiment on osmosis. So the question was on osmosis. And of course, immediately you know the topic, you should be able to remember the answers. The setup, the diagram came for the first time. And this confused a lot, but there's nothing difficult here. All right. So the first question is identify the parts labeled F and G. Identify the parts labeled F and G. So in the setup for osmosis here, F is called the capillary tube. So F is the capillary tube. That is F. Then of course G is the Vesicle tubing, and the Vesicle tubing acts as a selectively permeable membrane, one of the conditions that are needed for osmosis to take place. So Vesicle tubing acts as the selectively permeable membrane across which the water molecules are diffused. So B, state the property of G which makes it to function in the experiment in figure 1. Like I said, it acts as the selectively permeable membrane. And this means that it is selectively permeable. So we can say it is selectively permeable. And that makes it to function in this experiment. Then for question C, at the end of the experiment, explain how the following would have changed. 1, the level of glucose in solution, or the level of glucose solution. So here, the answer is the level of glucose solution, the level of glucose solution would rise. The level of glucose solution would rise. Then, what about the level of water in the beaker? So the level of water in the beaker would slightly drop. The level of water in the beaker would slightly drop. Okay, slightly drop. Then question D, what control experiment could be carried out alongside the experiment in figure 1? So the control experiment that would be carried out is where you put water in both the Vesicle tubing and the beaker. So water in both the Vesicle tubing and the beaker. That would be the control experiment. Then question E, name 2 other methods of movement of particles of a substance apart from the one demonstrated above. Name 2 other methods of movement of particles of a substance apart from the one demonstrated above. So other factors, we can talk of active transport, and also we can include diffusion. So 2 of the factors here, 2 of the methods here are passive, which means they do not require energy. One of these require energy, and this is active transport. It moves against concentration gradient, or particles in active transport moves against concentration gradient. That is something that you need to know. Okay? All right. We've answered the question fully. We proceed to look at question 2. Question 2, as you can see the diagram, this is on digestion. And the question reads, figure 2 shows parts of the human digestive system. Look at it very carefully, closely, so that even as we go to answer the question, you have the answers. All right. And just looking at the diagram, you should be able to identify the parts that are given here, because that is one of the questions that we are going to encounter. So question A of this part is that identify the parts labeled H and I. So the part labeled H, as you can see, it is the whole of this one, and that is the pancreas. Okay, that is the pancreas. And you should know what the pancreas does in relation to digestion. What is the role of the pancreas in digestion? That is a very important question that you need to know. Then what about I? I is the rectum. I is the rectum. And you need to know the function also of the rectum. Then explain, that is for B, explain the function of the part labeled J and K. So we go back. Where is J? So J is this part. Now, very important in biology, before you give the function, you need to know the part. So the part is the large intestine. Large intestine. Okay, large intestine. Or you can put the colon section of the large intestine. All right. So J, we can say large. Explain the function anyway. We are giving the function, not identifying the parts. So give the function of the large intestine. That is the question. So the large intestine plays an important role in absorption of water. Okay, absorption of water from where? From undigested foods or from feces. Aside from that, also absorb soluble vitamins. So that is also another function. And we can further add to that is that they also complete the absorption of mineral salts. So all those are answers that you needed to write on this part after identifying the part. Then what about K? So for K, it is the gallbladder. What is the function? It stores bile, which is produced by the liver. And this bile, it is transported to the duodenum. And you need to know the component of bile and the function. Another question that we expect is that, what is the role of the liver in digestion? That question is viable. Make sure that as you go through also that question. You have it answered. Okay. Then of course C, state 3 metabolic function of the part labeled L in figure 2. So, like I said, very important to identify the part first before you rush into giving the function. And as you can see, the part is the liver. So, the liver has thousands of metabolic functions. But in this one, we are just given a chance to give 3. So, one of them is deamination of excess amino acids. So very important also, you know what deamination is. Okay, so I have a lesson on this part, that is digestion, fully covered, well explained. Make sure that you check out that lesson, otherwise everything I explained. Then aside from deamination of excess amino acid, we can say production of bile. Then we can put conversion of excess glucose to glycogen. As you know, the storage form of glucose in animals is called glycogen. Okay, conversion of glucose to glycogen. gene. Then also conversion of glycogen to glucose. Okay. Then aside from that, we can take of detoxification of poisonous substances. Then also storage of vitamins and ions. That is another function. We can talk of transamination. All those are the function or metabolic function of the liver. Like I said, there are thousands of them. So even as you go through here on this particular part, get to look at some more. Okay, have the detailed information. Then outline the two effects of the ailment of the part labeled J. What is the part labeled J? The part labeled J is the large intestine or the colon. Now, if it has some problems, what can it result into and what are the effects? So one of them is diarrhea. Diarrhea is a passing out of watery stool, so resulting to one losing water, and that is dehydration. So diarrhea resulting into the loss of water or dehydration. Then we can say it might result also into the inflammation of the alimentary canal. So inflammation of the alimentary canal. Okay, it might swell. All right, so we've answered the second question fully. Let us have a look at the third question. So this question also is one of its kind that appeared for a first time. The phrasing is cool, and this is where some learners faced challenges. Now the question reads, Figure 3 shows reproductive structure of a flowering plant. A. Identify the part labeled P and Q in figure 3. So as you can see the figure 3, what are the parts labeled P and Q? Now to identify, this is a maize plant. This is a maize plant. So the end part there, P, are called tassels. Then Q is the leaf. And I guess this one was just for free. Everyone got it right. All right, then now, what method of pollination take place in the plant in figure 3? So the type of pollination that will take place is wind pollination. Wind pollination. And of course, at some point, I'm sure we'll have to give reasons why. All right, B2, we are saying give 2 reasons based on the structure of the plant in figure 3 for the method of pollination identified in B1. So what are the reasons? So hanging male flowers. Okay, so the top part here is the flowering part. So hanging male flowers, and that makes it easily to pollinate by wind. Then the other one, we can talk of male flowers. Male flowers are easily shaken by wind. So when the wind blows, the tassels shake. As a result, pollen moves, okay, or is blown away. Then feathery stigma. So where you find the stigma is right here. So when the pollen here drops, it might fall on the stigma. Okay, the stigma, you know, that is the female part. All right, the other one, you can talk of presence of small hair or trichomes to trap pollens. So all those are the reasons why the structure of plant in figure 2 can pollinate by wind. Then 3, explain how such part can prevent pollinating itself. How does it prevent pollinating itself? So one of them is that the stigma, which is the male part, the female part, develops okay, develops after the male has developed. So we can say developed 2 to 4 days after the anther, or after anther have developed, or after let me put anthers have developed. The anther, we are looking at the female, at the male part. So that is one way. Then the other way, we have more chances of the pollen being blown away than falling on its own stigma. So that shows that, or that is how it can prevent itself from pollinating or pollinating itself. The distance from where the anther are and of course where the stigma is just there's a greater distance, so there's a chance that they might be blown away with wind. I guess you've gotten a thing here. Then now, state the method by which the seeds of fruit or fruits are dispersed by the plant in the figure 3. So like we said, this is the maize plant, and in Zambia that is our staple food, so we eat such. So the method by which seed or fruit can be dispersed is animal dispersal. Okay, animal dispersal. So give a reason for your answer. Okay, the seeds are edible. They are edible. Okay, hence reserving, you can say hence reserving for planting. Okay, so they are edible, but humans do reserve for planting. So that is how we can answer this question, and I hope we are together up to this point. Let us have a look at question 4. So this one coming from skeletal system. Figure 4 shows the vertebra of a mammal. Identify the part labeled R, T, and U in figure 4. So what is the part labeled R? So the part labeled R is called the centria. Then for the T, it is called the neurospine. Then for U, it is the transverse process. Question 2 of 1 of A, state the function of the part labeled U. So the part labeled U is this one. So that one provides the surface. So we can say provide the surface for the attachment of muscles. Attachment of muscles. In which region, that is, we are on this question, in which region of the vertebrum is the in which region of the vertebral column is this vertebrum found? So it is found in the cervical region. Cervical region. Give a reason for your answer. Give a reason for your answer because it has short neural spine. Okay. In addition to that, it has a pair of canal through the neural arc. Okay. It has a pair of canal through the neural arc. But if you write it has a short neural spine, we are well and good. Okay. So on this one also make sure that, so all these answers, make sure that you verify them even as you go through as well. Okay. State 3 types of skeletal system or skeletons. So we have what we call hydrostatic, and you need to give examples on each. Okay, as you go through yourself, you're not just supposed to go through the questions, you get the answers, no, but make sure that as well you go further to look at some more information, know what is coming. So hydrostatic skeleton. Then we have exoskeleton. Okay, exoskeleton. One of the questions that we expect on essay questions is that describe the type of skeleton. So exoskeleton and also endoskeleton, of course with the examples. Okay, so these are the skeleton that we have. All right, so this brings us to the end of this question, and of course we are up to question 5. Question 5, as always, is on genetics. So question 5 is on genetics. The table 5 is incomplete table showing blood group, antibodies and antigens. Okay, so as you can see, the antigens are just markers that are found on the red blood cells, that is on the surface, and of course they determine the blood group. The antigens, we have antigen A and B, and these determines the types of blood groups that we have, the combination. Okay, and they are dominant. So where they are found, they are explaced. But that is not the case. Blood group A has antigen A, and of course they produce antibodies against blood group B. So they produce anti-B. So in terms of antibodies, so this is the line for antibodies all the way to the end. This is the line for antigens. So this one produces antibody B. Then here produces antibody A. It was already given. Here, what antibody? No antibodies, because this one has both A and B. Okay, no antibodies. Then here, what antigen for B is antigen B. Antigen B. All right. Then we go to the other question. So this is the question that we're answering. So we've just scored 3 marks here. Then B question, using the genetic diagram, explain why it is possible for parents with blood group A for husband and blood group B for wife to have a child with blood group O. So blood group O is recessive. Therefore, to be explaced, you need both alleles to be O. So this can only be possible if the person with blood group A, the alleles are A and O. And also the one with blood group B, we have B, O. In other words, AO and BO. This is blood group A, this is blood group A. Okay, we are not going to go with A or B, because this one cannot give us blood group O. So we are going with this one. Okay, so let us put up the genetic diagram. So we are going to start with parents on top here. Then parents, we have husband. Then on the other side we have wife. Then here let us put parental phenotype. The phenotype, we are just looking at the outward expression. So parental phenotype, we said the husband is we can say blood group A. Then wife, blood group B. Okay, then we put parents or parental genotype, the genetic makeup now. And all these, please, I'll get to record a lesson, but I have some questions answered on this particular part. I think I explained a bit, but of course I'll put a lesson where I'm going to explain in detail. So here, genotype, we have A, O, and of course B, O. The order matters. You cannot write OA. You start with the dominant one. Then down here, we can say gametes. Okay. So gamete, you just separate these. You put A, O, like that. Then you put B, O, like that. Then of course you can put here fertilization. Then you do the crossing with that. that is AB. This with that is AO. This with that is BO. This with that is OO. So first generation offspring, first Fourier generation offspring, genotype. Then F1 offspring, phenotype. What are the phenotype? The outward expression. So this is blood group AB. Then this is the blood group A. This is blood group B. This is the blood group O. All right. So that is how we show that indeed the person with blood group A and B can produce a child who is blood group O. So we've shown using the genetic diagram. Okay. All right. We've come to the end of the lesson. So please, for section B, it is coming. Let me just show you the questions. All the questions, we are going to answer them. Okay. Section B, that is where you answer 3 questions out of the 5 given. And this section is 36 marks. So these are the questions that came. You might want to go through before we even have another session. So these are the questions. Have a look at them. You might want to try them before we even get there. All right. So we've come to the end of the lesson, like I said. So please, if you are interested to join us for online lessons or physical lessons, you can contact the number 0976 402563. For physical lessons, we are found in Lusaka, Kabwata area at Let's Do Revision. We also produce compiled past paper questions. And of course, I hope these past paper questions that we produce, that is Let's Do Revision, have helped you. So if you want to, you might want to come in person. So we are found in Kabwata, like I said, Kabwata Primary School near there. You can just get in touch on this same line if you're coming and be part of us. Otherwise, we'll be waiting for you and see you in the next one.